Welcome to Ask and Learn.
We are asked to construct a word graph for a list of given nouns and connect two vertices by an undirected edge if the nouns they represent have a similar meaning. So, we're given the nouns apple, strawberry, Lenovo, cheese, chocolate, IBM, oak, Microsoft, hedge, grass, cake, quiche, HP, cider, donut, azalea, pine, Dell, fir, and raspberry. We're told that the word apple can refer to a plant, a food, or a computer company. So, first of all, let's start with apple in the center, since we're told the apple can have multiple meanings. And first, let's consider the case when apple refers to a plant. So which of these words are other plants? Well, we see that strawberry is not a plant in this case. Strawberry would be considered a fruit. Oak is a plant, however. So we have oak. We also have hedge is a plant. Grass is a plant. Azalea is a plant. Pine is a plant. It's a tree. Fir is also a plant. And this will be the last of the plants. So you see that we have, including the apple plant, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants. I guess a cider is also a plant. My mistake. So we should have 8 plants. So I'll draw the cider plant vertice down here. And I'll move the pine vertice down a little bit. So we have 8 plants, and we have, because these nouns are all plants, they are all connected to each other. And so we can draw edges between every one of these vertices. So we have an edge between apple and oak, an edge between apple and hedge. These are undirected edges. An edge between apple and grass, an edge between apple and azalea, an edge between apple and cider, an edge between apple and pine, an edge between apple and fir. We have an edge between oak and hedge, an edge between oak and grass, an edge between oak and azalea, an edge between oak and cider, edge between oak and pine, edge between oak and fir, edge between hedge and grass, edge between hedge and azalea, edge between hedge and cider, edge between hedge and pine, edge between hedge and fir, edge between grass and azalea, edge between grass and cider, edge between grass and pine, edge between grass and fir, edge between azalea and cider, edge between azalea and pine, edge between azalea and fir, edge between cider and pine, edge between cider and fir, and an edge between the pine and the fir. So it's a very complicated looking graph here, but this is only part of the graph. So this is the case in which we consider apple to be a plant, but what if we consider it to be a food? Well, we notice that strawberry is also a food. Cheese is a food. Chocolate is a food. Cake is a food. Quiche is a food. Donut is a food. And a raspberry is also a food. I'm going to draw some vertices, make a little more space here. Raspberry down here. I'll move quiche out a little bit. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foods. And we do. And I'm going to distinguish between the foods and the plants by using green vertices here, although this distinction in the actual graph does not exist. But just for the illustrations of drawing it, I'll use different colors. So we have that since all of these 8 nouns are foods, they're all connected. So there's edges between all of them. So there's an edge between apple and strawberry, an edge between apple and cheese, edge between apple and chocolate, an edge between apple and cake, an edge between apple and raspberry, an edge between apple and quiche, and an edge between apple and donut. We also have an edge between strawberry and cheese, between strawberry and chocolate, between strawberry and cake, between strawberry and raspberry, between strawberry and quiche, between strawberry and donut, between cheese and chocolate, between cheese and cake, between cheese and raspberry, between cheese and quiche, and between cheese and donut. And we have edges between chocolate and cake, between chocolate and raspberry, between chocolate and quiche, between chocolate and donut, between cake and raspberry, between cake and quiche, and between cake and donut. And we have edges between raspberry and quiche, raspberry and donut, as well as between quiche and donut. So this concludes the foods. And finally, we know that Apple can also refer to a computer company. And And looking at Apple this way, we have the other computer companies are, well, we have Lenovo, Microsoft, I'll draw these down here. IBM, HP, Dell, and that should be all of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 computer companies. And because these are all computer companies, they're all related, so they all have edges between them. And again, just for clarity, I'll draw these edges in blue, but in the actual graph, the edges would be black, or I guess all the edges in this graph would be red, because we're not distinguishing between different kinds of edges. And so we have an edge between Apple and Lenovo, between Apple and HP, between Apple and Dell, between Apple and IBM, between Apple and Microsoft, between Lenovo and HP, Lenovo and Dell, Lenovo and IBM, Lenovo and Microsoft, HP and Dell, HP and IBM, HP and Microsoft, Dell and IBM, Dell and Microsoft, and IBM and Microsoft. And so this is the conclusion of the computer company graph. And so our total graph looks like this. It's very complicated looking.